They are watching with earthquakes in Austria. I don't know. I will spare comments about Austria. Landeck, Tyrol. Maybe you should go closer a bit. Innsbruck, 9 kilometers in depth. And we are in the Alps. And if you watch a bit around here, it's not far. Pillar Moor. So we have Quakes here, and here is more peatlands. Let's have a look at those quickly. It's temporarily closed. And here we have some pictures. Peatland, as you know it. This one is just in the Alps. There's somewhere. There are a few interesting things to that. Like, for example, here's the path where you can walk in those peatlands. And the elevation is 1,532 meters. So it's quite a high peatland in the Alps. It has been used also for commercial. They were draining it and digging out the peat mining, or however you put it. Here's some kind of map and explanation about the peatland they have there, and a dragon. And here's some kind of explanation how everything happened. And these kind of pictures, they are, I don't know, they should be prohibited. Dumbs down people. Yeah, and I thought that's interesting too, because it says that there is a rate on 222 in this water. So if you are too young or pregnant, you probably shouldn't drink that. Otherwise, there's no problem drinking some radioactive water. And I think that's also really interesting. Here you can see the rock. This kind of, they call it karst. And we are in the Alps. And once I said that somehow it could be, I'm not sure, because I don't have a lab. I can make some experiments or whatever. But I was thinking that limestone, if you alter it with electricity, you probably get granite out of it. And this rock might be between limestone and granite. It looks kind of sandstony and these kind of things, since it's in the Alps, which are supposed to be granite. So that's now Google Maps, I guess. So we don't have any quakes marked here. But let's see if we find some dragon. This is kind of, that's some bath or something. A wizard's bath. Or druid, or witch, or how you want to call it. Whoa! What's up with that? About? Is there anything about that? Here's some page. Let's check it out. English, yes. Necessary. There's a tower. Hi, I'm Sunny, the digital elf. Ants. Ants 2.5 meters tall, earthworms 4 meters long, gigantic beetles, and all this in the middle of the wooden adventure park. The mystical forest around the Wodebad and the Wodeturm harbors a legendary story about the giant Wode from the Urktal. He once fought with a magician who was well disposed towards laddies, and both of them sank into the pond, never to be seen again. Today, near Neueck, visitors will find a giant adventure park with oversized animals and magical flora and fauna. There was something to click on. Is that a cow? Bubble Party, a fairy tale adventure park in Ladis. But what's the story behind that? Tourism Association. Let's click on this Ladis thing. Where was it? Ladis. Ladis? Yeah, English, I guess. Interesting facts. Known for its sulfur and acid springs. Whoa! There it is, our dragon. In the year 1212, a goat belonging to the shepherd Nicholas Schederle discovered the sour water. By random, he immediately noticed that this water is something very special. The rich and powerful even had the sour water delivered to Innsbruck. No wonder, since healing effects are attributed to it. Drinking cures with sour fountain and sulfur water are said to have cured Archduke Ferdinand's second son. The grateful father then had a red marble column erected. It still stands today. At the time, the spring was so strong that the water sprayed meters high out of this marble column into the air. However, due to an earthquake in 1671, the source became weaker. Oh man, I was talking about that many times. The springs in the Alps, where's the water coming from? Mountain water, that it has been there since the beginning. They are the source of the glaciers They are the reason that we have all those springs with sulfur and all this, also in the Alps at higher latitude than you would probably expect, because they are still connected to the underground, the large water reservoirs, and all those have been created 12,000 years ago. Probably that's why they are still quite active, because they are still young, and there hasn't been too many earthquakes which would have destroyed those. Now, however, due to an earthquake in 1671, the source became weaker. Low discharge is what they call it in technical jargon, explains senior manager Burgel. You can tell that she cares about the house spring and her water. Whoa! That's much better than just a picture of a dragon. In general, the senior boss, Burgel, knows a lot about this mystical place. The spring and the associated hotel used to be considered a healing spot. The oldest writings about the spring dates back to 1461. At the time, a roof was built over the spring. Today, the house is on this spot. Today, the house is on this spot. But a part of the magnificent old stock has been preserved to this day and bears witness to that time. The old part of today's house was the so-called foyer. The prominent guests strolled here. Rich people. The senior manager has been here for 80 years. She tells about the good old days from the hotel, which was constantly being expanded and where important and well-known celebrities of the past were on a cure. Yeah, the rest is probably not that interesting anymore. But now here we have it. Sauerbrunn, acid dwell, and the dragon. Yeah. The sour water tastes really sour. The first sip of water tastes really sour, mineral and sparkling. Hardly tasted you want more. A nice footpath. Footpath leads here from the valley. After the ascent, the cool refreshment is really good. The sour water slowly runs, or rather trickles, into the well. Next to it, the sulfur water bubbles up. We taste both. I like it, but my companion doesn't get much enthusiasm for the sulfur water. I know. When it comes to acidulous water, we agree. Everyone thinks it's good and joins a long line of Sauerbrunn lovers. The source owes its name Sauerbrunn to its high carbon dioxide content, in addition to the natural carbon dioxide. The acid water also has a high mineral content. Little table salt, but a lot of magnesium, calcium, and sulfate makes it ideal for drinking, cures, and should be used for gastritis. Austria's highest bottling plant. Yes, I'm really glad. I didn't knew about that, but my senses obviously were correct that there might be more to that, or to those quakes. It's not every time you find something like that, but that's amazing. This is somehow really good evidence for my theory, which I'm sharing with you now live. No script or whatsoever. Never. No, probably once I will have something. Austria's highest bottling plant. The small fine Tyrolean family business fills 300,000 bottles a year, as many as major manufacturers in one day. But one must not forget the Sauerbrunn is Austria's highest bottling plant. The healing spring rises at 1,386 meters. In the past, there was even a material cable car that transported the bottled healing water down to the valley. And from there it sent out into the world. During the Second World War, the Tyrolean sourwood was delivered as far as Russia and Abyssinia. If that isn't proof of goodness. Whoa! That's amazing. So, I'm mind blown. Couldn't find better evidence for this kind of theory, but I'm trying to somehow get onto a paper. Probably I should really start to write about that. Leave the peat. Leave the peat paper, rest for a while. I don't know. There's just not enough time. But I will leave it here. Thanks for watching. Bye.